Now, prime numbers are numbers that can only be divided by itself and 1. Okay? So examples of prime numbers are 2, 3, not 4, okay? 5, 7. People mistakenly think 9 is a prime number. 9 is not a prime number because it can also be divided by 3. Okay? The next prime number is 11, 13. People sometimes think 15 is one of them. Not too many times though. But 15 is not a prime number because it can be divided by 5 and 3. And I'll go up to 17. Okay? I'll go up to 17. Okay? So, now, those are examples of prime numbers again. Let's take 11, for example. 11 can only be divided by itself and 1. Okay? 13 can only be divided by itself and 1. Okay, same thing with 17. All right. A number like 8 is not prime because 8 can be divided by 4 and 2. Okay? A number like 6 is not prime because it can be divided by 3 and 2. Okay? Examples of non-prime numbers, okay, are 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12. Okay? But we're not even worried about non-prime numbers today. We're only worried about prime numbers. Okay? So now let's simplify this radical. Okay? So I want you to keep in mind this radical is over the whole 1400. It's over the whole 14. Okay? So let me show you something. I'm going to go on my Google calculator. All right? I'm going to go on my Google calculator, online calculator, and I'm going to go square root right here. There's a square root. Square root of 1400. Close the parentheses. Again, the square root was right here. And I get 34.41. Okay, 34.41 roughly. Okay, so this becomes roughly 34.41. Okay, is that what it said? You're correct, Dylan. Thank you for the correction. Okay. Okay. So let's go ahead and do 10. Let's do 10 times root 14. Okay. Let's do 10 times root 14. I'm going to go 10 times root 14, close the parentheses, and watch this. You get exactly the same thing, 37.41. So these two are exactly the same thing. Okay? These two are exactly the same thing. They're both 37.41. Now, this is not simplified. This is simplified. The reason why this is simplified is because if I were to cut straight to the chase, the number inside the root is smaller. Okay? If the number inside the root is smaller than the original thing, then chances are it is going to be simplified. Okay? It is going to be simplified. All right? So the whole idea is to shrink this number inside the root. Okay? Because things inside the root are more quote-unquote messy. Okay? So here is how you shrink it. Okay? Now, what I was going to say was this is probably going to be one of the most important, not the most important, but top 3 important lessons of the year. Okay? And the good news is that it's actually really easy. All right? So I'm sure some of you guys have seen the factor tree before. Okay? But this is basically a factor tree, but a cleaner version of it. The factor tree can grow vertically and horizontally. Okay, it grows vertically and it also grows horizontally. What I'm going to teach you, the ladder, only grows vertically. Okay, so that's why I think it's cleaner. Okay, give me a second. Clear that. Now, let's shrink this 1400. Okay. So watch this. I'm gonna go 1400. Now I want you to choose a prime number that 1400 can go into. Okay, that can go into 1400. Let me see if I got my calculator here. Math tools, calculator. Okay. Let's do 1400. What's a small prime number that can go into 1400? Let's try 2. Okay, let's try this 2 right here. So I'm going to go 1400. 1400 divided by 2, and I get 700. Okay, so 2 goes into 1400 700 times. Okay, let's break down 700. Okay, now we're eyeing this 700 here. Okay, let's break that down. What's a prime number that can go into 700? You can use 2 again. That's fine. You can use 7. You can use 5. Let's go ahead and use 7. Okay, so 7 goes into 700 100 times. Okay. All right. And what's now our eyeball is on the 100. What goes into 100? Okay. We can use 2 again. Let's use something different. Let's use 5. Okay. 5 goes into 100 20 times. Okay, because 100 divided by 5 is 20. Now let's see what goes into, okay, let's see what goes into 20. Okay, we can use 2 again, and now we can start doing these in our head. And that goes into 20 10 times. And what goes into 10, we can use 5 again, and 2. Okay, 5 goes into 10 2 times. Okay? All right. So that's that. Okay? So that's that right there. Okay? So now we're left with 2. This is prime. Once you get the bottom number to be prime, once bottom number is prime, okay, you stop. Okay, you stop. And the bottom number is prime. Okay, so now watch this. I'm going to take this. We are 95% done now. Okay, now check this out. I take all these numbers, all right, and I'm going to write it inside the square root. And to me, this is the easiest part. You just got to pay attention. Watch this. I'm going to write square root 2 times 7 times 5 times 2 times 5 times 2. Okay, I just wrote this green highlight out over here. All right. And now, okay, and by the way, if you multiply all these out, you're going to get 1400. Okay, if you multiply all these out, you're going to get 1400. And by the way, you can write this in any order you want. Okay, you can write this in any order you want. It doesn't have to be 275252. Okay, you could have done it in any order. Now watch this. This is the key part. We're almost done. What's 2 times 2? 4 inside the root. Okay, 2 times 2 inside the root is 4 inside the root. And what's square root of 4? 2. So those disappear. All right, and we get a 2 here. All right. What is 5 times 5 inside the root. It becomes 25 inside the root. And what's the square root of 25? 5. Okay? All right. And there's no more pairs. Okay? We're looking, again, the whole idea was we're looking for pairs on the inside. There's a pair of 2's, which becomes root 4 on the inside, which cancels out and becomes a clean 2 on the outside. There's a pair of 5's, which becomes a root 25 on the inside, which all cancels and becomes a big fat 5 on the outside. Okay? And there's no more pairs. There's only 1 7. There's only 1 2. So now on the outside, we got 5 times 2, which becomes 10. And on the inside, we're left with 14. Okay? And this is your answer over here. And that's how I got this yellow highlight. Okay? All right. So again, to recap, okay, we're trying to shrink this number inside the root. Okay, that's the whole point, trying to get to this yellow highlight. So we take this 1400 and start breaking it down using the ladder, using only prime numbers. Okay, using only prime numbers from this list right here. Okay, only prime numbers from that list. All right. Now 2 from this list goes into 1400 700 times, and so on and so forth, and you keep going until this becomes prime. Okay, till that becomes prime. Now you could have gone about in any order you want. It didn't have to be 275 252. You could have done your own order. Okay, and then once you're done with that, okay, you write out this green highlight horizontally. Okay, and you look for pairs. We have a pair of 2 on the inside, which becomes a root 4. Root 4 on the inside cancels out and becomes a big, nice clean 2. The same idea happens for this 25. And on the outside, you're left with 5 times 2, which is 10, and then 7 times 2, which is 14. Okay? So, let me go ahead. I want to highlight some things here. This is yellow. Boom, boom. And 7 times 2 is 14, just so you guys can really see. All right, that wraps up today's lesson. I want you guys to do these next problems here.